WCS. Very happy to see you all. Thank you so much for coming to WCS. We always appreciate people taking time out of their day, especially at the end of the day, to join us. If this is your first WCS event, welcome. We hope we leave a great impression and you'll come back again. If you are a returning participant, thanks for coming back, and I hope you meet new people and have great experiences. Today we are talking about taking action on plastic pollution, something I think we all feel a lot of anxiety about, we feel very helpless about. And I'm hoping to get some real actionable steps out of this event, and we have Votes for the Planet here to show us the way. So if you could move to the next slide, Daniel. Thanks. So the agenda, Votes for the Planet and Daniel Brickman, our awesome guest speaker, and Kirpa Graywall, our own WCS volunteer, will be presenting for a bit, and then we'll go into breakout rooms where WCS facilitators will help you draft your own plan. It'll be very interactive, and hopefully you also get to meet people. Networking is a very important part of WCS events. Then we'll regroup, learn about what each different breakout room was talking about, and then sign off for the night. So it'll be action-packed, an hour and a quarter, and I hope you stay for the whole time. Next slide. A little bit about WCS. If you are new to us, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary, which is huge. It's a huge deal for all of us, and we hope that you all are also excited. We have a big summit November 4th that will be more of a moment of celebration of that landmark. But all the time, we're just working on motivating and supporting and connecting women in the clean tech and sustainability industries through events. We used to have in-person events. We'll have them again soon, but virtual events and a mentorship program. And we also have a flagship event once a year at Google that is really great and not to be missed. Next slide. I think a lot of us have had a lot of time on Zoom. Zoom fatigue is real, but I think the number one takeaway over the past year of these WCS virtual events is it is truly what you put into it. You can either be a passive participant and listen in, and there's a lot to gain there, but by sharing your screen, your video, putting your name accurately on your alongside your video, and then also sharing your LinkedIn in the chat. And from that stage, if you then go and connect with people that you see in that LinkedIn chat, you can have amazing connections. I know my network has blown up ever since I joined WCS. Just a friendly reminder, please do be respectful. We're all coming here with our best intentions. I would be shocked if something happened, but thank you for being an active, great listener. Next slide. If you paid for it tonight, thank you, but if you want to be reimbursed for that ticket, you can become a virtual member and get all of our virtual events for free, alongside a lot of other benefits of access and different programs that WCS puts out. So happy to chat with you about that. There are a lot of board members on this call, and there's also a lot of information online if you want to take a look. Next slide. So this is me. I am Caroline Trowbridge. I work in my day job for Metris Energy and Energy Efficiency Finance Company. And I'm also the co-chair of the events committee, though I did not put on this event. That goes to my colleague, Abigail Carson. I'm in charge of the panels, but I'll just be moderating today, but the real stars of the show are Kirpa and Daniel. Next slide. Votes for the Planet is our co-host. We love to co-host with different organizations that have similar missions. And I think we can definitely agree that this organization is trying to do the best for our Earth, and we really, really need that. Next slide. So here are Kirpa and Daniel. Kirpa is a WCS volunteer, but also works for Sustainable Brands, and Daniel is the founder of Votes for the Planet. So I'm going to pass it off to Kirpa, and without further ado.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much, Caroline, for kicking us off on this very exciting event. We were blown away by the number of people who promoted this event. Big thank you to everyone who helped advertise. A special shout out to Plastic Pollutes, Eco Challenges. There were so many people who helped share our event that we ended up having to actually make an extra slide to show our appreciation, and a special thank you to Climate Reality Leader Las Vegas chapter. I'd like to take the time to review some things that some of us find near dear. Here are some things that I deeply care about. Water, especially clean water. Water makes up about 70% of the Earth's surface, as well as an essential component to all life. Daniel, next slide. Pristine landscapes, open space reserves, places in nature we hold sacred, places we seek for nature therapy. Next slide. Animals. Biodiversity is the amount of variety of life on Earth. It is the number of different species of plants, animals, and microorganisms. Animals are an essential component of biodiversity on Earth. And let's face it, they're adorable. Let's make sure we keep them safe and do our part in rehabilitating nature. Next slide, please. Oh, who doesn't love babies? And we all love happy, healthy babies. They're the future. The action we take today will help keep these future leaders ready for tomorrow. Well, the next slide, we all know this is true. Plastic really does suck. We need to keep corporations accountable for their production of plastic and help local legislation pass that would help reduce and help eliminate plastic pollution. Next slide, please. Here's just one picture of a manta ray. Plastic is the most common form of marine debris. At least 8 million tons of plastic end up in our oceans every year. And if we don't take urgent action, by 2050, the world's oceans are estimated to contain more plastic than fish by weight. Plastic is in our food, our air, our water, and in us. That's horrible. Thumbs down. Plastic is toxic. It's been found in human placenta. It's a growing issue that impacts humans and other organisms. And as I said, it's in our bodies. People ingest a credit card worth of plastic a week. Plastic is a growing cause of climate change. Plastics are made of fossil fuels. Mining and transportation of fossil fuels cause carbon pollution. Refining and manufacturing plastics also cause carbon pollution. As one of the most common types of plastics in the ocean breaks down, it emits carbon pollution and adds to the overall heating of Earth. You can protect oceans, save animals, clean the air, and eat less plastic. I'd like to turn it over to our lovely co-host, Daniel from Votes for the Planet, to tell and show you how you can take action on plastic pollution. Daniel?
So thank you, Kirpa, so much for being, oh, that's a lot of feedback. Can you go on mute, please? Okay. Thank you, Kirpa, so much for being such a fantastic, inspirational co-host. And thank you to Aruj, who did all of the art for this presentation and the graphic design. And thank you so much to everyone for joining. As Kirpa's mentioned, plastic pollution is a huge problem and we need everyone working together to fight it. That means each one of us, businesses, organizations, and governments. And today we're asking you to join us in making your own plastic pollution plan. I'm going to share with you sample actions across 4 categories. And when you're thinking about creating your plastic plan, consider a portfolio approach where you make sure to diversify across the different categories and particularly consider having at least one action in the policy business arena. In each one of these buckets, I'll share some sample actions, but please feel encouraged to share other actions in the chat. Before we go into the actions, I'd like to share one framework with you. Out of these 4 R's, the most impactful thing that we can do as individuals and as a society is refuse single-use plastic, which makes up roughly 40% . Sorry, I somehow went on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, weird. Okay, if you can't refuse, try to reduce the amount of plastic by choosing a lower plastic or plastic-free option. And once you have some plastic, try to reuse it or repurpose it. And yeah, recycling is good, but in the United States, only 10% of plastic is recycled. The rest goes to landfills, ends up in oceans, or is literally incinerated. Recycling by itself is sadly not enough. With that, let's talk a little bit about some of the sample actions you can take as an individual. Number 1 is about refusing the most common types of single-use plastic. I've been doing this for a few years, and it's a pretty easy way to ease into fighting plastic pollution. Number 2 is about reducing, and 3 is about supporting companies that use less plastic. If you want just one action that combines refusing, reducing, reusing, and recycling, number 4 is for you. And if you want to potentially double, triple, or quadruple your impact, think about supporting your family and reducing the amount of single-use plastic. There are so many other actions in the speaker notes. We're going to share this presentation with you in just a minute, including links to products that one of our team members, Nicole, has put together and tested for creating plastic-free kitchens and bathrooms. Let's talk a little bit about education. So life can get busy and there's a lot to think about, but one fantastic way to be reminded of your commitment to sustainability is to follow a few plastic-related social media accounts. I've listed a few cool ones here. And a fantastically, potentially powerfully inspirational thing you can do is watch a couple documentaries on plastic pollution. Over the past couple of weeks, I've watched several of them, and I'm going to share with you links to those on an upcoming slide. 3 and 4 are about committing to take just a little bit of time to learn more about the harms of plastic pollution and what organizations locally or nationally are doing about it and what you can do. If you're interested in learning more about how you can reduce plastic or have some tools to help you, we've compiled a list of a few fun apps and websites that you can check out. In addition to that, Kirpa was kind enough to compile this list of a few very talented artists who are repurposing plastic waste to make beautiful art. Here are the list of some movies and shorts you can check out related to plastic pollution. Nicole and my team shared this short little mockumentary about the majestic plastic bag that's definitely worth a quick watch. And if you like John Oliver and haven't seen his plastics episode yet, that's definitely worth checking out. May not be suitable for children. Both the PBS documentary and Plastic Ocean are just tremendously beautiful, well-done documentaries on the impact of plastic pollution on the ocean or more broadly. So do please check out at least one of these. So with that, let's move and talk just a little bit about some sample culture actions. If we're going to fight plastic pollution and make a dent, we can't just reduce our own plastic pollution. we also need to change our culture away from single use and towards zero waste. So one fun, easy option is to invite some friends over and watch one of those movies and chat about it. You can also share content on social media and chat with friends about plastic pollution, the latest news, and actions to take. You can consider getting involved in a local environmental group and joining your local Buy Nothing group, which are these local communities that give each other stuff for free. Now we come to the category with the highest potential for impact, policy and business. If you can help your school or work reduce plastic pollution, that could easily have an impact that's 100 or 1,000 times greater than just reducing your personal plastic pollution. And look at number 3 for a second. If we could get Congress to pass meaningful plastic legislation, it could reduce plastic waste by tens of millions of tons each year. Voting and calling your reps is so important. That's why we've added a link here to 5 calls so that you could learn more about the Break Free from Plastic Pollution Act and consider calling your reps. If you have either some extra time or some extra money to donate, joining or donating a nonprofit that fights plastic pollution can be one of the most powerful ways to help impact policy. It's already a group of individuals who are working together to shape what businesses and governments are doing. And for number 5, check out if your local community is working on legislation to pass, working on local legislation to reduce plastic pollution. When plastic straws or plastic bags are banned in a community, that by itself can reduce plastic waste by thousands or tens of thousands of pounds, but it can also open up a larger conversation about broader actions to take to further reduce plastic pollution. Stepping back for a minute, the best actions for you are ones that aren't hard. It should not be hard to take action. So when you're thinking about what actions make sense for you, try and think about a combination of what's fun, what's doable, and what might be the highest impact. In the breakout session, you're going to work together to make individual plastic plans. And then when you take those actions, you'll have an impact. But if you want to amplify your impact, you can share your plan on social media and encourage your friends to create one. We have a link here to a shortened version of the deck where people can go through and do it by themselves. But we also have added a way to further amplify your impact. I, through Votes for the Planet, will donate $5 to the Plastic Pollution Coalition if you post your plan on Instagram before the end of July and tag us. Couple notes here. If you have a private account, please do DM us. Otherwise, we can't see it. And if Instagram isn't for you, you're more than welcome to enter on other social media platforms like Twitter or LinkedIn. The details for that are in the speaker notes. But basically, just do it and then email us at votesfortheplanet@gmail.com. You know, I care so deeply about the things that Kirpa mentioned earlier about clean water, animals, oceans, healthy people, and the ability to go out on a hike, enjoy nature without smoke-filled air, charred forests. Climate change and plastic pollution suck. And I want to help make it easier and more common for people of all sorts to take meaningful action. And that's why I'm trying to incentivize people to create plans and share it with others. But if that message resonates with you and you would like to help incentivize people to create and post plans, you're more than welcome to help match this donation in part or whole. So for example, you could offer to bump it up from $5 to $6 per post. So donate $1 for every person who posts up to the first 200. But you could do a match of any sort of any amount that you'd like. If that's potentially of interest to you, please just shoot me a message now or sometime during the breakout groups with that. And when we regroup at the end, I'm happy to share if the donation amount is $5 per post or something different. In addition to triggering a donation to this fantastic nonprofit, you could also win a handmade reusable bag, courtesy of our nonprofit sponsor friend, Plastic Free Future California, who will actually be one of the facilitators of one of our breakout groups. You could also win a 4-pack of organic reusable mesh bags, thanks to our incredibly generous sponsor who sponsored this entire event. And you could also win your choice of one of these fantastic dinosaur fossils. I am quite bummed that I am not eligible, but your game. So there's this potential ammonite, a dinosaur footprint fossil that's 200 million years old, or a megalodon tooth. Many thanks to our paleontologist friend, Breton, here for providing this prize. You can check out his profile here. A few additional options for your consideration. Do consider checking out our Instagram page. And if you are so inclined following it, you can find out about future donation events. Also optional but cool is that if you do a post, tag a few friends in your caption and encourage them to create a plastic pollution plan. I just added a link in our bio so that to the offline do-it-yourself version of the deck. And also not related to what we've been talking about, but a really cool thing to consider doing is to join our Plastic Eco Challenge team with this link here that will be shared with you soon, and join our team, CSU Monterey Bay Eco Otters times Votes for the Planet. EcoChallenge.org is this fantastic nonprofit that gamifies taking action. So do check out their website. They have so many additional sample actions you can take to fight plastic pollution. Join our team and say hi. So with that, let's move towards creating our plastic pollution plans. We're going to go into breakout groups and you'll have a facilitator who will be able to answer any questions, but let me just preview a couple things. So very soon I will send a link to a presentation in the chat. The first thing you'll want to do is click that link. And then on the very first slide, it will say, click this link to go to slide 34, or you can just scroll down and then click File, Make a Copy, Entire Presentation so that you can edit and create your own plan. Then you can scroll through and look at a couple examples and check out the range of templates we have and find a template that speaks to you. One thing to keep in mind is that if you are going to post an Instagram, want to keep your feed looking a specific way, it's totally cool to just post a picture of your beautiful smiling face and then have the swipe be your plastic pollution plan in the second image. With that, let me just show one more thing before we go into breakout groups. So once you figure out which template you like, there are some helpful notes on the side. You're more than welcome to change this language as much as you like. And all of the sample actions and more are actually in the speaker notes here. And you can copy paste them. But if you do want to copy paste, do just make sure to click Edit, Paste Without Formatting so that it doesn't mess up your formatting here. And just one last reminder to please consider including at least one policy or business action. When you're all done, you can click File, Download PNG, or just take a screenshot. So with that, we are, if I go back to the agenda for a second, we are right on schedule to move into breakout groups. where there will be a facilitator to help answer any logistic questions. You'll draft your plastic pollution plans, network, have a good conversation, and then we'll regroup here for a Q&A and next steps. And again, if you do want to boost the donation match, just shoot me a chat, Daniel Brickman, anytime between now and 6 o'clock when we regroup.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We'll just give it a couple seconds for people to trickle back in.
Hi everyone, how was everyone's breakout rooms?
It was great. I feel like we always have a great conversation at these meetings.
Fantastic. I had such a great conversation with folks. So many questions about plastic.
It was really good. Thanks for facilitating.
I'm looking at the Votes for the Planet Instagram right now. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I think you would be a great volunteer.
Hello, welcome back. I see people's faces coming through.
Should I mute? Yeah.
You know, we're going to do a bit of a share out. So if you have anything you want to share.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone, it would be great to hear just a few action items that came to mind. And Kirpa and Daniel, feel free to jump in too if you have specific questions.
For sure. Well, I'd love to hear from anyone to see what action you're most excited about taking away and applying to your life, your community.
So Jessica helped me find sustainable packaging for my website, which means that I'm down using plastic by like 96%. Now I can say it's going to be 100% very, very soon.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Jessica.
Jessica,
Yay,
can you drop a link in for us? I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I can. Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And an idea I had was for, has anyone ever ordered from Amazon Prime, like grocery delivery, and the freezer packs? They're like this plastic bubble wrap wrapped in like a silver lining, and they're not recyclable at all. And it's like just the sheer volume of these that goes out like every single day is insane. And so I was thinking about starting a change.org petition, and it turns out one already exists. So I'm going to share that in the chat if anyone wants to.
Thank you. Yes,
Oh,
I'm
yes.
all about it.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. That's great.
Cool. Absolutely.
And welcome back, everyone. I think, let's see, we have roughly 2/3 of the people sticking around. So thanks so much for sticking around. I think we have a few slides left to share. So Caroline, do you want me to share my screen?
I'm pulling it up now. Does anyone else, before we jump into the last slides, have any last ones that they want to share?
I just have to share this one because it's really great.
Yes,
I was with Christiane and Daria plays bass, and it is a second-hand bass. And Christiane had the idea to connect with somebody on Instagram who does plastic reduction and pollution reduction raps. So like music. So Daria is going to team up with Gila the Kila on Instagram and talk about plastic pollution through music.
Whoa. We should have a WCS concert.
Right, we should.
The first.
I had to share that one. It was just so genius.
Thanks, Oakley. Also, Cassie Snow, I think I saw your hand raised.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think part of our conversation went down a path that I wasn't expecting, actually. I hadn't really thought about clothing. Like we were talking about thrifting versus buying, fast fashion. And I actually really had not thought about that in a way that we can, make a personal change to reduce our plastic consumption. And like we were talking about the the power of influencing our friends. And I definitely was influenced by my friends to thrift more versus, you know, leaning on fast fashion. And so just like, if you do that, you know, just call it out if people, you know, compliment your Priya, you know, was saying like every time somebody says something about her shirt or whatever, she's always like, yeah, I thrifted it. Because yeah, there's a lot of plastics that go into fast fashion. So that, I wasn't expecting that part of the conversation. So yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good one. I mean, yep, thrifting is very much cool. Like that is something that I think people always appreciate. And there are probably a lot of other things that we could turn the framework towards, of being the more sustainable item being more cool and more appreciated. It's a great one.
I love to say thank you guys for doing this. This is really inspiring and it's amazing. And I think we should keep reminding people that everything we do counts, you know, like every little thing counts. Like it's a good reminder for ourselves, and I think it's a good reminder for the world and our friends and colleagues, and you know, like just like, and try to make one good thing every day, just like every day commit to one thing, you know, just like that. And I think that's could be part of the great change that we're working towards. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I want to say that, sorry, I just quickly say that I think 30 minutes was too short.
Yeah.
Well, you keep brainstorming. You can make your list as long as you want.
Once
I
again,
do see some hands up. Allie O'Donnell, do you want to share?
Yeah, I was in a breakout room with Sherry, Sanjam, and Brittany, and I think an interesting topic that came up was just how we received pushback for trying to introduce kind of plastic reduction or refusal techniques to our friends and family, especially since plastic culture is one centered on convenience, and trying to convince people to shift away from that convenient option took some time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to say that the conversations were super inspiring, and I feel really inspired. I was on the same call as Cassie, actually, and I feel very inspired to make a lot of changes. And something else we talked about was corporations and how we can also like influence the places we work. So thank you all for putting this together. Super inspiring.
Yay, that's so great to hear.
Thank you.
Glenna Wiseman, do you want to share?
Hi, everyone. I'm on the board and the co-lead on the marketing committee for Women in Clean Tech. And first of all, I just want to congratulate all of you for the compassion, which is passion in action, that you're displaying here. And I had a breakout room with Patrick in Berkeley, and Zhenya in Detroit, and Deborah from Nigeria. And all of them had found out about this from your group, Daniel. So congratulations to you for the level of outreach and for all of your efforts in this arena. I really appreciate it.
Wow, that's so awesome. What an international group we have. I'll take a few others. I think Sissy is, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Cece. I had a wonderful group with Sunny and Eric and Navreet, and one question that came up within our group was, because this is such an amazing event, we sat down, we made our plans. Is there a follow-up that might come about where we check in, or is there anything that we can expect following this?
Oh, that's awesome. Kirpa and Daniel, do you maybe through posting on those Instagrams?
Yeah, so first of all, can I just say how wonderful it is to hear how many people are inspired to take action to fight plastic pollution. And I could not agree more with the every action matters. You know, my bestie just shared with me the story about the starfish where, you know, like there's like thousands of starfish on the ocean and like someone's throwing the kids throwing starfish back into the ocean. Someone's like, why? It's like, you know, you can't possibly make a difference. Like I make a difference to that starfish. And, you know, like, some of our actions are one starfish, and you know, if we help our corporation, business, or government, maybe you're taking a shovel or you know a dump truck full of starfish and putting them back in the ocean. So anyway, thank you so much. Related to the question about like the future, so a couple things. One, if you post your plan and tag us on Votes for the Planet, that's cool. Number two is if you have any questions or want to have more conversation, just DM me at Votes for the Planet on Instagram, or I'll add my email here. You can connect on LinkedIn. More than happy to have a follow-up conversation if people want to talk more about plastic pollution or anything like that. Kirpa, anything you want to add?
Same. Please feel free to also reach out to me. I loved all the conversations I had today. You guys are also very inspiring, all of the input and different angles on your own climate action plan. I'll also drop my information here, and feel free to reach out. Let's keep the conversation going. It's not just Plastic Free July, it's plastic free every day.
Sorry, technical difficulties. But thank you, Kirpa. I'm going to share the screen again. Can everyone see these slides? I think Daniel, want to run through this?
Yeah, so just super quick. Thank you all so much for joining, your kind words, and for creating a plastic pollution plan. And if you want to trigger the donation and enter to win some cool prizes, please remember to post your plan by the end of July, sooner is better, and tag us. And just the extra little reminder to email us a screenshot if it's not on Instagram or if you have a private account. But then, as Kirpa mentioned, don't just make the plan, then figure out what that next step is. What are you going to do tomorrow, the next day, and the day after to take action to fight plastic pollution in your life, change the culture, change businesses, change the government? This is what we need to do. You can also encourage your friends to create a plastic pollution here. That little link right there. It's also now the #1 link in our bio at Votes for the Planet, and will stay that way for the time being. And if you have any questions, or you may want to join our team, send me an email or DM us on Instagram. Thank you all so much. And with that, I'll pass it back over to Caroline.
Thanks, Daniel. I'm just going to do a little promotion of WCS here. We do have other events on the pipeline upcoming in August, late August. There will be a book club. We like to flag this now because if you are as slow of a reader as me, it'll take you the same, a full month to read this book. I think it'll be great, and I'm really excited for it. And then when I talked about this earlier, on November 4th, we have the 10-year anniversary summit. It's really going to be great reflection on the past 10 years, but also brainstorming and active participation on the future, because you all are as much a part of WCS as the board and the staff, and we want to know what you want in the future. Thank you to our volunteers today. Kirpa was a huge organizer of this event, and we also had a lot of help on marketing and events. And they have volunteers. You probably met some of these people in your breakout room. We couldn't do this without them. And if you want to become a volunteer, you can attend all of our events for free. And there's endless opportunities of getting to know people and getting more involved. You could also join committees. You can work on the events committee with me and Abigail and plan your own event. We are endlessly looking for people with inspiring ideas, and I have a feeling this group has a lot of those. If you have a moment, it would be really helpful to have your input on our community survey. You can just take a picture of this QR code, and we'll be able to hear your feedback and put it to work. That's the goal. And please do follow us, WCS and Votes for the Planet, in the virtual world, and stay in touch. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.